What's up guys, it's Fan975 and today I'm going to be showing you my settings that I use for Fraps and my settings that I'll be using for my new video recorder software called Dxtory. And the reason that I use both is I'm using Fraps right now to record this desktop capture. It's the only program out of the two that allows to monitor the Aero desktop, which is the DWM.exe. So if you go to start your if you start your task manager and it's monitoring this process right here and it's able to capture this process. Dxtory is not able to do that unless I haven't found out a way how to capture it with Dxtory, but this is why I'm keeping Fraps on my system currently, because I'm able to record my desktop like this, and I have been using Fraps to record my desktop for majority of my videos that utilize the desktop. But here's my settings. Ignore that because that is obviously not me, and this is a sign and indication that I obviously did not purchase this. So we're just gonna ignore that. And FPS, I don't really mess with anything over here. I always keep the corner, the overlay corner, this thing right here, top right, and everything right here I just keep as default, I guess. I haven't changed anything in there. Movies, I have an external hard disk drive that I save my Fraps files on. The video file that it's writing right now is being saved onto an external HD hard disk drive, and that's about 750 gigs. I want to get a bigger one, but this will do for now because it was free. And yeah, so the video capture hotkey be anything you want, but F9 because I think that's the default. And the video capture settings, I don't know if you paid attention to my last video, and I don't know if you could tell, but my last video where I went over my specky settings over my computer, I had this checked over at 60 frames per second, but you probably wouldn't be able to tell that because YouTube decreases the frame rate to 30 frames per second. So I might as well just keep it to 30 frames per second to keep the file size nice and low, even though Fraps is known to make huge ass file sizes and it just eats away your hard drive. I keep this at half size because I tried doing that at full size, same thing with my last video, and it just looked weird. So I think upscaling from the half size and then rendering in 1280 by 720 afterwards it looks better than downscaling whatever this resolution is. I think it's the hold on, let me check it real quick. The resolution is 680 by 1050. I just use my TV remote because I'm using my TV as a monitor, but I do plan on purchasing a monitor instead of a TV. That way I can get a low latency rate, about 5 milliseconds, and I've been looking around. It's supposed to help you improve your gaming, which I've been doing a lot on my new computer. But this monitor slash TV will do for now 60 hertz at 680 by 1050, I think. Yeah, 680 by 1050, which is 16 by 10 aspect ratio, is what I'm working with right now. And sound capture settings, record your Windows 7 sound and record the external input. That's what I'm doing right now, recording myself. Hi, hello. And that's it for my Frap settings. There's not really much else to it. Now let's go over to Dxtory and fire that up. Let me find it real quick. And yeah, ignore that because this is not my copy. Hint, hint. But anyways, same deal in Dxtory. I use this for video games. I don't use this for the desktop because I don't know how it's gonna attach, how the Dxtory process will attach to the desktop process, DWM.exe. I don't know how that would start recording to capture that process. So I usually don't mess with this page. I don't mess with the first tab right here. Second tab I use. So this was a little confusing to me. Use default settings, so I just left it as is. And I have video FPS check, write file FPS check. And the thing I like about Dxtory is when you're recording, uh, let's say recording Team Fortress 2, you're still playing it about, on my computer, about 100 frames per second, but the video is being recorded at 30 frames per second. So you can still play pretty decently without suffering frame rate loss, which is a huge improvement over Fraps, and which is why I like this better than Fraps to record video games. And then I changed the custom values of the recording and the non-recording status color. I don't really care about the movie capture frame, and I didn't know you can move this actually. I want to move it. I guess I'll move it over there. Yeah, I'll move it over there. I didn't even know you could do that. See, something you learn every day. But that's what I do for this tab right here, the folders tab. Same thing. I keep it in my. I write all my video files to my external hard disk drive. That way, you aren't playing your game and writing. I'm sorry, you're not playing your game. You aren't recording to the same hard drive that you're writing from, if you get what I'm saying. You're recording from a different hard drive than you are writing from, and that's kind of hard to explain. But having two hard drives would be better to. It would be better to save the recording on the external hard drive that I have via USB to my computer. And that's just the folder path of what I'm doing. I don't take screenshots down here, don't care. I'll use Steam and just hit F12 and do it that way. I use the same hotkey, F9. That way I remember. It's consistent for me. And this is what I'm going to have to mess with in the near future. I downloaded a codec, sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Lagarith lossless codec. It's okay. It's better than the default Dxtory and all these other ones. And when I hit this little pin right here, it gives me advanced settings for the codec, and I haven't touched any of these. So, and the frame rate is 60 frames per second. And I think that's incorrect. I think I'm gonna have to drop that down. Yeah, I don't know why that's 30 frames a second, but I'm gonna have to drop that down now. Oh, okay, default. Yeah, sorry, default 30 frames per second. Yeah, I guess use the default setting. That's confusing. So hopefully that saves and stays at 30 frames per second. If not, oh well, I can still render it, and it's gonna come out 30 frames per second anyways. File output, make sure that's checked, or else you won't get a file to record to mess with in Sony Vegas and edit, render, and upload to YouTube. AVI, that way I don't save it in raw cap format, because then you have to use the Dxtory program's converter, and I don't want to go through all that. I include the mouse cursor. That's just my personal preference. And I guess this changed too when I switched it over to the default profile, but I usually save the video at 50%. That's what worked out for me. And yeah, that's what worked out for me. I'm going to use this as the default setting, so I think I understand it now. But 50%, 30 frames per second, Lagarith lossless codec. That's all. That's the main things to take out of this. Sound, stereo mix. I could set up my Turtle Beaches microphone, Turtle Beaches, and record my voice while I'm talking, but I'm not going to do that. I left that as default. Don't care about screenshots, so I didn't mess with that. I made sure all of this was unchecked. You can go through each one and just leave your mouse hover over it and read what's going on there. The English is a little bit sketchy because I believe this program is Chinese developers, Asian developers. I don't know if they're Chinese or Korean or not, but they're Asian developers, and so their English is not good. Not that good, to be honest. And I left these two checked. This is all personal to you, but these are my personal preferences, and this is how I like it.